Hello, welcome back to another episode of Coaches Connected. Today, I want to discuss the topic of red zone and attitude towards red zone. And obviously, every coach and every offensive mind has a different attitude towards red zone and how they attack it. So I was just going to cover a couple of instances of my own thought process and my own mentality towards red zone and the way we attack it. Hopefully, you can take something away from it. If not, then always good. But what we're always trying to do is get stuff and get to help other coaches take things away. Uh, anyway, my offensive philosophy from the offset is always been and still is to this day, and it's pass the score, run to win. And that even though I'm an air raid uh, offensive system, we run the football as much as we pass the football in terms of we try and be balanced, not just in terms of run pass, but who gets touches as well. But our mentality is that when the game's on the line and we need to, we want to be able to run the football, we want to out secure the victory. So that I always take that mindset into my red zone approach. So the way I'll break it down is there's three lines. Once you get to the 20, we're still expansive. We'll still throw the football in the end zone, around the end zone, close to the end zone. And when we get to the 10, we might start to just look towards putting our foot on their throats and executing our dominance and being the aggressor and rather than just trying to throw it and be passive. We want to be the aggressor and we want to show that we are more physically dominant than they are, and we really want to put the throats on the neck and put the teeth in the sword. So inside the 10, we begin to run a lot more than we would do, not all the time, but if we were looking to really make a focus, but we look to run more inside the 10. But once it gets inside the 5, my mentality there is I'm punching the ball in right down your throat. And that has always been the mindset. And I'll show you some clips today of a couple of different things that we do. Um, not always running. We do mix it up. We have got some pass plays in there. I've done a video before on our rollout pass play, which we use in the red zone certain situations. And we've got our regular, wide corner and stick and stuff that we do use in the red zone and stuff like that. But it's just some examples, but it's talking about a mindset and a mentality and how the field changes and your thought process changes as you go along down the field. And we'll open this play up. This was against Chester. Um, as you can see, we are in 3-by-1. It is the first down when it's not their half. It's a pass play, but our QB decides to roll with it, and he does a great job and he did a great job that year of moving the chain with his feet. So if there were certain times where he saw the gap, he would just take it and he would just run with it, creating the space. As you can see, there's a massive line there. Our receivers when their DBs off, creating a nice lane for our running back, QB to just expose that space, and he does so. And we get a huge gain, and we get it inside their 15, and now we're in the red zone. This is where our mentality starts to take shape of how we want to attack it and what we want to do. We go on a two back. We don't always go on a two back, but sometimes if I want to be really dominant and say I'm not taking any prisoners here, I want to show you who's the boss. We will try and force it down your throat and make you eat that football. We go to two back. We're in pro. I think we're doing our running back cross here, but our running back bounces outside for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Coaching point there on the day, which we talked about it afterwards. But you've got to get north south as a running back. You can't bounce it out too far like that. But we make some yards and we move on. We're staying in our two back now. You can see we've got a genuine fullback there, and we've got a running back. We can mix it up. I like to get a fullback in because I want to run high. I want to run two back king, fullback king queen stuff. So it's a case of mixing it up when we can. Okay, this is just stick. Okay, we get a good completion there. So take it back a touch. So we're in two back stick. Uh, as these running well, we tag this into a post corner. Okay, because they were playing so deep. We want to get him on the corner, but we drop the snap, so that messes up all the timing. But our QB does a great job, seeing exactly a receiver. He does a great job of just, making the best of the situation. Doesn't stop, doesn't panic. You see how Wise open as he's also open on the far side, but he underthrows him because he would be open in the end zone. But he does a good job of coming back to it, secures the football, and we get a first and goal. And now the mindset changes even more so. Now, in my mind, I'm looking to punch this ball in right down the middle, right beyond the centre. I want to show you that we mean business. We're not afraid to get dirty and give you what these guys come to see, which is as an lineman, you want your lineman to be physical, you want your lineman to be dominant. So we go straight into I formation, and now the thought process for me is I want to punch this ball in as fast as I can. However, I'm also noticing, I'm not sure if we actually run this ball first. So we do try and sneak it close. But at this point in time, I'm down here somewhere where I'm looking at all this space here and a way to utilise it. Look, should we run a slant? Should we restore the football on second and goal? Would you rather stick it at the jumper? And in the end, I have to go for the sneak. We don't get in. They do a great job. We want our line to be physical and dominant. In this case, they didn't do a good enough job. But then the push off, they stack it up. We should have been better in this situation. I expect better. No excuses. But the defense wins that rep, and we're short. Now we're into our king formation, and this is where I'm now looking because I'm the guy in the white hat here. I've called time out to the thingy. You'll see me signal the QB over because I've now changed my mind, and I now want to run QB sweep to utilise all that space. You can see me talking to him right there. I'm saying to the guy, listen, I've seen the space on that left hand side. If we lead the running backs and you just run a QB sweep, regardless of the formation, we've got QB sweep in our arsenal. If you use QB sweep, we can make the most of that space. So in this opportunity, we're literally taking advantage of the field and the area that the defense is giving to us. Now we also in our pass game take what the defense gives you. In this case, the defense is giving us its whole heap of field here, and I want to take advantage of it with a guy that's really fast and really elusive. So we come back out. We're in the exact same formation that we were in the last time. I want them to think that we're still running the same play that we just ran, but now we are running a QB sweep to the left because you want to utilise all this space here. If we can get one seal block from our running back or our fullback, our QB can split the edge and we can walk in. You see our running back's got a piece of him, and we just take a nice little run in there, and it goes in. A little bit closer than it should have been, but we do seal the edge enough, and we do get a touchdown out of it. And it's these points where we need to make sure that when we're in the red zone, that we're successful. Points in the red zone and points off a turnovers are my two big things. For me personally, if we get a turnover, I want to score off of it. And if we're in the red zone, I want to take points away. Now, if we're inside the 20, or we get to the 20, the teams I've been around, we've had a kicker of decent quality, so we will try and get points every single drive. There's times where if you ever got a kicker, you might want to just chip away until you can get close enough and or the runner downs or get it in. But once we get it to the 20, our mentality thinks this is points, regardless, and so we won't. If it's third and 9, I might sacrifice the play to assure the points that we get the points in certain situations. We need them. So that's what we do. But on this play, you can see we used the space that they gave us to our advantage to create the space. Again, the mindset for me is once we're inside the 5, I want to run the football and impose our dominance on the opposition. Okay, I'm going to go back to the same. This was the third quarter, I think. I want to go to the same game I want to take it back to play. I think it's 10 or 11. This is the first quarter, and it's very, very similar. I think it's 10. Okay. So now we're in the first quarter. This was the second. I think this is probably the first drive of the game. Actually, I'm not quite sure. I've covered this before. But you can see we're in MT at this point. Not MT. We're in trips at this point. Sorry. We're just entering that red zone area. This is the point on there. We're at about the 20-yard line. So that our mindset is still we can pass the football. We can do whatever we want to. Our playbook for me is still open. We're running the football, trying to get closer. A few moves, but he bounces it outside. We get yards off of it. So we're moving the chains to get towards the 10. Okay, we're still in a spread formation. We're not looking to condense it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It all depends on how we feel on the day. If our loins raring, if our backs feel like they can run over the world, then we might want to even do it even more so. At times I just want to be physical, and when I want to be physical, I want to express it. So we're moving a second down now, and now you can see that we are in an empty formation with the tight end and a wing back. But because we're not no huddle, the defense can't do anything about it. So he's moved formations. They test to it. There's a nice little whip from our boy there, and then we get inside the 10, and we make first and goal. So now we're in the red zone, and our mindset and our mentality again is for me now. I'm thinking I'm running the football. I want to impose my will, unless they're going to give me something stupid. I want to really make them pay for it. Let us get this close. In this situation, I don't change personnel. It's the first drive of the game. It is scripted, so I'm still on script. So I would have got there once I get inside the 10. My script would then change from my opening 10 to my red zone 5, my favorite 5 red zone plays. And this might not be number 1 on my list, but if I read down my top 5 red zone plays that I've scouted, and I think we can work this against this team, which the previous one I've already showed you that I wanted to run QB sweep because I saw that we could make the most of that situation. This is the same thing. I think number 3 or number 4 on my chart was QB sweep for the day, and we do it again here. But we do this one still in the spread formation, still in the same look. We've just flipped it over, so now we've got empty left. I've run back with motion to the right. But this whole time, and this is what we're talking about in our other videos about being multiple, the play itself has changed. It's still QB sweep left. You saw it on the previous clip where we were in 2 back pro, and now we're in empty with a motion in foot with a motion wing, and we're still running QB sweep. The play itself didn't change, just the motions and the formations around it. So we're looking to do a lot or make it look like we're doing a lot, but in reality we're doing nothing. Okay. Our receiver is supposed to block on this play. He's late, and he runs a route. However, because of the space, and they do engage a little bit, and I trust that our QB is super fast and super agile, he makes them a miss and just squeezes into the end zone for our first score of the day. So you can see the mindset there. We're trying to expose the space. This was on our opening script. This was before the first clip I've shown you. This was our opening drive of the day. We wanted to get it in the end zone. I knew this was going to be a work on the day. QB sweep. We make the most of it with the formation we were in, and we get it in and we take it home. Okay, I'll show you one more, and we'll go against go against Lanks. Bear with me 1 second. Again, this was our opening drive of this game. Every coach's mentality towards red zone play is different. I can only give you my truth and what I run. And if I could pass on a gem to anybody or pass on a bit of information that they might find useful, then I'm all for this. Okay, so we'll go back to play 9. So you can see now we're inside the red zone. Let's pause it. This is our first drive of the game. In this game, you know, one of the things that I talk about when, especially on social media on Twitter, is about scripting and stuff like that. Is that we don't script for a game, but when we scout, I do openers, and I have an opening 10, and I have a red zone 5, etc., etc. So we will, where we can, stay on script. And I always judge our opening drive by how well we've scouted or I've scouted if our first drive is successful, which means we put the effort in, put the work in, and what we've seen on film, we took advantage of. Obviously, defenses aren't stupid; they'll change up what they do pretty quickly. But for that first drive, we want to hopefully have been good in our game planning, good in our scouting, and taking advantage of what we've worked hard on during the week, during our walkthrough, during our midweek practice, put it into perspective, and put it into use. Okay, so now we are on our first drive. This is our first drive of this game. If you want to know terminology, I'm happy to tell everybody. Hammer is just dive. Okay, and we're in trips right, which is I've said before, is our formation, and trips right for me has always been just one-handed right trips. Okay, so we're looking at these on a first down run. We're still on script here from our opening drive. You can see. So we score a TD, it gets called, but it's out the 2, but it gets called back. We get the yardage. Not sure why. And then, oh no, he actually counted. He was in 72. My bad. So we set it up again with the QB. The QB keeps it. This is one of the beautiful things about having a zone read QB is that he's got the legs and he knows that if there's nobody in this area, he can keep it. So they all bite down. He just takes it, uses his legs, gets around the edge. We get inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. And now our mentality is let's punch it in. Okay, so you can see now we're still a single back. There'll be times in the season where I'll go 2 back, maybe 3 back, maybe empty. It doesn't matter what the formation is. The mentality and our mindset is always going to be, for me, run it down their throats inside the 5, and inside the 1, run the football. Put the emphasis on your O line because when you put the O line like to have the emphasis put on them if they're any kind of O line that wants to win football games. They want that pressure. They want the game to be on their shoulders. You know what? Tell the O line, hey, we need you, boys. We need you right here. You know, make them feel needed and wanted, and they'll put that shift in for you. You know, we emphasise in midweek and in meetings. You know, when we get inside, guys, we need that line to really step up and concentrate and get the job done. You know, and without checking any statistics, we did a good job in 19 of taking advantage of the football in the red zone. We did our success rate was quite high in this particular year, and it's one of the areas that we as an offense and any offense has to really focus on is your red zone game and what you do in the red zone. You know, the drive after this one offshot took before we thought the football and scored in the red zone, but this first open drive of the game, we're trying to impose our will and make them know that we're here to play. We just come off a bad loss. We would here say, you know what, we're here to play today. By the way, Alpha is just our run center. We try and get it in. We get close. We don't get it in there, but we're fighting. You can see we're a single back. We're in Alpha because we want to keep it. We go to Alpha or in 20, we go to pistol because we don't want them to know which side we're going to go. And we can always just outside runs when we're in our gun or switch. We are done and can do. But sometimes that the idea of being behind the QB and the defense not knowing which way it's going to go is always an advantage. Especially if you're going to sneak it or if you're just going to run it up the middle. which is what this is. Supposed to go right, but we get a missed block, and we get force our way down to the one. Okay. Now we're back into gun. We call the same play for the third time running. So if you were saw for play 9, play 11, it's been hammer right 3 times. Hammer right, hammer right, hammer right. 3 different outcomes. We've had a QB pull off of that because that's what he can do. We've had an inside run, and now again we want to run again. And we're trying to get that ball that last yard and a bit. Their defense isn't really aggressive. They're not showing any blitz. You know, we expect our line to be dominant in this area. A jump doesn't matter. Okay, it's now third down. Our mindset hasn't changed. We didn't get in on that one, but inside my mind, I'm telling our coaches, I'm telling our players, we're going to force us in. And if our head coach tells us we've got 4th down, I'll do the same thing again. You can see there, it's still the same play. We've just switched it over to the opposite side now. Okay, we're literally half a yard away, and we just basically barrel our way in. Okay, not the prettiest TD you're ever going to see, but from a mindset perspective and from an offensive perspective, we've basically gone there and ran the same play 5 times just to prove a point of that we're here. Can you stop us? And in this case, they couldn't. You know, we have always had that mindset. Well, I've always had that mindset is that when we're inside the 10, I want to start imposing my will. When we're inside the 5, I'm definitely going to run at least twice. I want to make sure that you respect that run. So I can run play action off of it or pass play off of it. I want you to expect that run inside the 5, especially the game plan for me. Expect that run, expect that run, expect that run, because then we can do things off of it like jets and all kinds of stuff. But we, as an offensive staff and as an offensive team, we look to pound that football inside the 5. Now, everybody's different. There'll be people passing the football inside the 5, but even though, as I said before, I am an air raid system person, our mentality, especially in the UK, has to be a little bit different at times because I always like to think that we need to run the football a lot more than our American air raiders do, just because it is what it is. That's how I feel. And my own personal mindset is that as a former running back, I want to run the football. So the first thing I did when I came in as being an offensive coordinator was have that balance about running and passing and who gets the touches and who does the touches per game, who can be the biggest threat. Okay? Now, there's only a couple of clips, guys. Nothing major. I just wanted to talk about the mindset and the mentality of red zone, how I approach it, how others might approach it different. But I can only, as I said before, I can only give you what I think, what's my opinion, and how I attack it. And hopefully, guys, you've took something away from that. If not, then it's okay. You can't always get everything, but hopefully, you know, at least you can see from my mindset of where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to do. Well, for now, guys, and for today, I appreciate it. So take care.